Hey, besties. Thanks for stopping by the Clubhouse for episode 7. We are kicking off season 2 with a lot of fun stuff. Yankees started the season off 7-2. Currently, they're down to the A's 2-1, but that's okay. They've proven to be scrappy, so I'm not worried about it right now. Tonight, we are going to do the Empire Extra. We're going to talk all things Yankee baseball, but, make it a little bit more fun, more exciting. We're going to play the first round of the Bronx Lorette of the season. 2 New York Yankees are going to be voted off, so I would love to hear the chat's opinion on who they think should be voted out. And then we're going to end it with the Bronx is burning, where I'm going to put my co-host in the hot seat, ask him some questions, see what he has to say. Speaking of my co-host, let's get him up here. He is the face of ESB. He is the one that makes everything possible. Tonight with me is Rich Rivera. We're very excited to have him. Hey, Rich, how's it going?
What's going on, people? We're back. See, the Clubhouse 2026. Yeah. Technically still season 1 because we only had 7 episodes last year. You can't have a 7-episode season 1. We're not on like HBO Max yet. So here we are, season 1, the continuation right into 2026.
Yeah, I mean, season 1, we had our winter break like Netflix always does. So we're picking up on episode 7. Very excited to kick things off.
Absolutely.
Overall, before we jump into Empire Extra, what are your overall thoughts on the Yankees so far this season? I mean, I know we're only in game 10, but overreactions, underreactions, what do you got?
Definitely no definitely no overreactions. 9.5 games in. I know you just mentioned they're down right now 2-1, which actually that was news to me when you said that, because last I left, Ahmed Rosario hit a home run. It was 1-0 before I came up here, so I don't know how they got the second run. That being the Athletics, but so far so good. I mean, look, 7-2 through 9 games. I think you polled most I guess logical fans. They're taking 7-2 through the first 9. Anybody who's sitting there like, oh, they should be 9-0, like, come on, let's be crazy. There's no team that's perfect right now. But to be towards the top of the power rankings, according to MLB and a lot of pundits is really nice. Definitely seeing a different flavor of baseball being played across the board, especially with the running game. I really like the team's aggressiveness. And even if they're, getting caught at second a couple of times, at least there's an aggressiveness that we're not used to seeing with Yankees baseball. And the Yankees right now are leading the American League in stolen bases. So wow. That's a number that I don't know if that's going to sustain, but this early into the season, that's pretty damn cool. We'll love to see, better production between 6 through 9 in the batting order. Entering tonight, they were batting 195 combined, which was the worst in all of baseball. Better usage in the bullpen too, I would say, is another thing that I like to see. But overall, can't really complain much. Really happy with what's going on with this team so far.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't have said it any better myself. The run game has actually been very interesting because you have Giancarlo Stanton and Trent Grisham stealing bases. Like, that is insane to me. But I'm going to shout out the chat real quick before we jump into Empire Extra. So Jacob Petruzzi, always the first in the building, always a huge supporter of everything ESB. So shout out to Jacob. My beautiful daughter, Allison, she is watching from her iPad. We have Hector, ESB's very own Joey Bag of Donuts. He should be getting ready for bed soon. We have CK. Shout out to everybody watching at home. Thank you for tuning in from Twitter or X or YouTube, wherever you're watching from. We appreciate the support. Let's jump into the Empire Extra. So there's not a lot of, breaking news or hot news right now because, like you said, we're 9.5 games into the season, right? But I think maybe the biggest story right now is Ryan McMahon. Boone chose to go with Ahmed Rosario over McMahon today, and it's already paid off. First pitch swinging, Ahmed Rosario went deep, so taking advantage of his opportunities. Now, I know that there's going to be fans out there that argue, McMahon is obviously better defensively, right? But he was batting, I believe, like .87 going into tonight's game. Do you think Boone pulled the trigger too early, or do you think he made the right decision by just kind of sitting him for at least today and giving one of the bench guys the opportunity?
I think he made the right decision. I mean, it's pretty bad. I know, like, one of the things that you're going to constantly hear is small sample size. It's too early. But even in McMahon's sample, when he's only got 2 hits, with one coming on opening night and the other coming Sunday night, I mean, that's a problem. And the thing with McMahon is that's unfortunately, part of his pedigree as an offensive player. He is a low average hitter. He's a high strikeout guy. You're going to get adequate to good defense at a third base for McMahon. And even that, I can kind of make an argument there, because without the scoops over at first base from Ben Rice, I mean, he's probably saved Ryan McMahon of at least 3 errors to start the 2026 season. So I don't blame Boone to going with Rosario and kind of giving a different look there at third base. The Yankees, I think, have only faced one left-handed starting pitcher at this point. So the Yankees didn't have a real chance to kind of give Goldschmidt and Randall Grichuk and Rosario a little bit more run. So I think this is an opportunity with McMahon struggling right now to see what Rosario can do. And so far, so good. So a home run to start the night.
Yeah, I agree with you. And, we haven't seen much of Randall Grichuk, but Goldschmidt has definitely taken advantage of his opportunities. He himself is running the bases very well. So very good to see, especially at his old age. But Yankees are down 3-1 now to the A's. It's not the A's that we know in the past. They're young, they're scrappy, they are locking in their players. So they got some fight in them. Other than, Ryan McMahon, the only other negative that I can currently say about the New York Yankees is that the bullpen has been a little shaky outside of maybe Bednar and Cruz. I feel like I can rely on them, but everyone else has been a little scary. Duvall, while I know things will work out in the end, he hasn't been the greatest. Paul Blackburn, little shaky. Jake Bird finally had a bad outing recently. Only one bad outing, so not going to kill the guy, but the bullpen is a little scary at this point. If you were Aaron Boone, how would you go about utilizing the bullpen moving forward so that we're utilizing it correctly?
I think, one thing that caught my attention over the weekend was the Saturday game and how crazy that one was. I mean, Camilo Duvall didn't really have it. And where you were hoping to get a full inning of completion out of your setup man, Duvall was exited early. So that meant David Bednar had to come in a little bit earlier than where he's supposed to come in. And you don't have him available for the 9th inning on Sunday's game, where the Yankees are throwing Ryan Yarbrough out there, who for the majority of his career has been a starting pitcher / long reliever. So it's just not the spot that you're used to seeing a pitcher like that. He ends up inducing a 2-run hit, which ultimately ended up being a game winner for the Miami Marlins. So I don't have the right answer, because I'm not in the headspace of a major league manager to tell you what the bullpen lane should be. I think they're kind of stuck with a few pitchers that just simply don't profile towards the back end of the bullpen. So there's going to be heavy reliance on our guy Tim Hill and Fernando, and you're just hoping that a guy like Duvall can be that bridge that the Yankees acquired him to be. I mean, the Yankees gave up multiple prospects to get Duvall by the trade deadline last year. He really hasn't lived up to the once very good pitcher that he was in San Francisco. So it's going to have to end up becoming something where the Yankees are going to have to get away with what they have until around trade deadline time and make a big move there. We also know that there's going to be recruits to the rotation soon, so who knows who could enter the bullpen by default. So I really, unfortunately, I don't have those answers right now on how to best deploy the Yankees bullpen, because right now it's just a trial and error to see who we can trust the most.
You know what? I actually love that answer from you. I love that you're not trying to overmanage the team 10 games in, right? Like, you're not ready to ship somebody off to Guantanamo Bay. I think that's great. CK made a good point in the comments. He said Tim Hill is solid. You're 100% correct. Tim Hill is somebody that I feel like for the last 2 seasons we can definitely rely on. Shout out to Li. Hope he's listening. And shout out to Mr. Name That Yank and Yamali for hopping into the chat. I appreciate you guys for the support. And Li just hopped in. That was like Beetlejuice. That was insane. He's saying his name and he appears. But I'm going to segue into the positives with the pitching. So our starting pitching has been very solid, right? Cam Schlittler, obviously, this is the first night where he's kind of getting tested. But going into tonight, he hadn't given up a single run. Max Fried, even though he didn't have his best stuff against Miami, he's somebody that I feel like you can rely on to go deep into the game. He's gone 7 innings. He told Boone, there's a clip out there where he's saying, I have it if you need me. So he's ready to put it all out there. Ryan Weathers, he had a bad start, but you know what? He took it on the chin. He didn't make any excuses. And Will Warren has surprisingly been very, very good. I am interested to see what happens when we have Carlos Rodon back in May, Garrett Cole back, Clark Schmidt back, Luis Hill back. What is Boone going to do with this rotation? Who is the odd man out right now if somebody was to return?
Well, we know Luis Hill is due to make his first start on Friday, but the Yankees have been deploying a 4-man rotation, so obviously no starting pitcher is going to lose a job right now. It's just a matter of which low-leverage reliever are the Yankees going to go with, or rather eject right back to Scranton, or maybe in Cade Winquist's case, send him off to St. Louis, where he probably belongs. He hasn't even made his major league debut yet. But when it comes down to the full rotation, have a hard time answering this one as well. See, you coming. I thought the Bronx is burning for later. Well, look, these are tough questions now, and I have a hard time answering because we've seen the Yankees in years past with those projected super rotations. I remember there was a rotation following the signing of Carlos Rodon, where the Yankees rotation, super rotation, was supposed to be Cole, Rodon, Frankie Montas, Luis Severino, and Nestor Cortez, who, by the way, if you want to look back to 2021 and 2022, one of the best left-handed starters in the American League. I mean, look at the numbers. You couldn't believe it. Nestor Cortez doesn't have a job right now. Neither does Frankie Montas. Luis Severino is in the opposing dugout. But that rotation never came together because of injury, because of bad performance. And that was the 2023 season where the Yankees missed the playoffs altogether. So I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch when it comes to projecting who's going to be out of that rotation mix. But we'll just say, for the sake to answer the question, have some fun. Everybody's healthy. We're in July. No one's gotten hurt. What do the Yankees do? Well, guess what? You're paying guys like Max Fried, Garrett Cole, and Carlos Rodon to solidify rotation spots. I have a hard time thinking, and even with the start today, that Cam Schlittler is going to be out of a rotation spot at that point. So it comes down to that fifth. Well, Will Warren right now is the leading candidate because he's looked good right now. And if he keeps that going, I can't see the Yankees not going a warning. But what kind of Luis Hill are we going to get come Friday and beyond? Will this be the Luis Hill we saw back in 2024 that won the Rookie of the Year? Or will this be the Luis Hill that was subjected to AAA this year to start the season? Is it going to be Ryan Weathers who's going to probably master an out pitch? Hopefully, he's got a 98-mile-per-hour fastball. He's looked good, but he's just not putting away batters more efficiently. Or wait a minute. Hold on a second now. While I have you in the clubhouse, people, a really beautiful pink neon lit clubhouse here. The brand new clubhouse here. Love the LED lights up here going above my head. What if it's Carlos Legrand heading? That makes an impact by the time that rotation is full. Now you're talking about 5 guys. Who's going to be out of the rotation come a playoff spot? I mean, that could be a bigger question down the line. CIARRA, the point being, I got to take a drink of water or something. My point being, the Yankees have a lot of great options, and it is a great problem to have when you have this much depth in the starting rotation.
100%. We have plan A, B, C, D, E, and F. So you're correct. Chris says, call up the AA guys. That's where the best pitchers are. He might have a point. That's ESB's very own Chris Nieves. Love it.
Chris Nieves also projected that Cam Schlittler would have a 0.00 ERA for the rest of the season. He did put that little juju on Cam, and Cam's down 3-1 right now against the Athletics.
He said Garrett Cole to the bullpen. I love it. All right. Two more really positive things before we hop into the Bronx Lorette and play a quick fun game. So going into tonight, and usually I don't like saying things like this, but I thought it was kind of fun. So the Yankees have a plus 25 run differential. So they scored 47 runs in 9 games. And it wasn't all home run or bust. That's why I'm bringing it up, because this is a different Yankees offense, in my opinion. They are getting men on base and actually moving the runners over. Their sack flies. I didn't think we knew what that was until this season. So that plus 25, very exciting. Outside of that, the last thing I want to kind of bring up in the Empire Extra, Ben Rice. Okay, Ben Rice is on fire right now. So 3 home runs. He's tied with Aaron Judge. But he leads the team in RBI right now at 11. He leads the league with OPS at 1.380. He has 4 doubles, and his defense actually looks very solid. Quick overreaction, Rich. Is this lightning in a bottle, or is Ben Rice for real for the 2026 season?
I think it's for real. I think it's for real. And we had so many conversations with a lot of baseball nerds last year that were trying to tell us everything about the expected stats with Ben Rice. Why is he hitting 240 if, everybody's claiming that he should be hitting 330, 300 at the very minimum? And we always talk about how baseball is a game of adjustments. And could Ben kind of put it all together where it's not just the baseball savant stance that we're relying on, but he can actually put these numbers on a legit back of his baseball card. And thus far, he's doing it. And he still has that amazing hard hit rate, which is tops in the league. It's awesome to see him start the way he is. And I'll tell you another personal reason why I think this is real. I saw this firsthand in Somerset 3-4 seasons ago. He had a miraculous run in about a 20-game span. He hit about 15 homers. Like, no joke. Killed it in Somerset where no one was expecting it. And soft plug, but it's ESB, so I can plug it anyway. Empire State of Baseball yesterday, we spoke to Steven Cusimano, play-by-play commentator of the Somerset Patriots. Go check it out if you want after the show. And he mentioned that's the guy out of all the prospects he's seen was the biggest surprise story. Not featured in any MLB.com top prospect list, but he saw the talent that I saw as well when I had my time down there. So Ben had this dog in him years ago, and now he's getting bigger, stronger, wiser. I think by the time, and look, this is a guy we didn't even feature in our top 10 first base list in our player rankings. To see you were part of it. This guy, I think by next year, when we're having that conversation, he's in that list, and he's in that list in a big way.
Yeah, I agree with you. I personally was worried about his defense going into the season, but it looks like he put in the work. You mentioned earlier, he bailed out Ryan McMahon multiple times, especially in that Marlins series. So I'm looking forward to watching him this season. I also just want to say, we've seen this prophecy before, right? Where you get a young kid with kind of like, I don't want to say messed up teeth, but before the veneers, and he turned into Aaron Judge. So Ben Rice is just repeating that prophecy. Can't wait to see what he can do over the next couple seasons. I have to keep reminding myself that he is already 27, but hopefully, more good years from Ben Rice. But all right, besties. So all of you who are watching right now, whether you're watching from Twitter, Instagram, or YouTube, make sure you hop on over to Twitter and follow ESB itself. That's where you're going to get the Mets and Yankees content. And then follow the one-on-one accounts. So you're going to follow ESB NYY and ESB NYM. That's where you're going to get your Mets versus Yankees content individually. We have a great group of content creators on both sides. Spaces are hosted daily. And then, of course, make sure you come back for ESB on Mondays as well. Here is our current schedule for Spaces and our YouTube shows. So check everything out. Like, subscribe, support the whole brand. Everyone over here loves to have fun and just talk about baseball. But let's play the Bronx Lorette. So if you guys were not here for season 1, part A, what you're going to learn is that I love reality TV. So when we came up with the Clubhouse, we wanted to make it baseball, but reality TV and make it fun. So instead of giving out roses tonight, we are going to eliminate 2 New York Yankees players. So I would love to know from the chat, who do you think should be eliminated from this team? Whoever you want. At the end of the day, I'm making the decision for those 2 people, but I want to know your opinion. Rich, if you were in my shoes, right? Like if you were the Bronx Lorette, who are you not giving roses to tonight and why?
All right. So who are we sending home out of a 40-man roster? All right. It's tough because it's like there's some stories that you hope can bounce back. Like I have a hard time like knocking Jazz out, but I know the way things are going to be done here, it's just going to be based on your most recent performance. And look, could be a guy like Aaron Judge that gets knocked out if he has a bad 2-week stretch. Like this is what the Bronx Lorette is. It's going to be a gauntlet amongst our team. But I would say it is so hard to not say Ryan McMahon would be one of those 2. Again, we mentioned batting below, not even below the Mendoza line. I don't even know what the 100 line's considered. Like he's batting below that. It's terrible. And we should have expected a low offense, but this is pathetic. Like Amed Rosario's out there starting the game. He's supposed to be on the bench. So for me, it's got to be McMahon. Another player, and I could pick apart the bottom of the order and go after CIARRA, but at the end of the day, CIARRA's as a utility man, really disguised as a starting player right now. I would say that, you know what, I'm going to be rough. I know he could be better than I'm going to say Camilo Doval. You know, again, I think Duvall's got the potential to be a really, really effective back-end reliever, but I think he himself, with his bad performances of late, has taxed the back end of the bullpen. And so, unfortunately, I know it's really early, but this is going to be a really tough decision at first, but I'm going to say McMahon and Camilo Doval.
Interesting. So, Yamali says Jake Bird. Swift says McMahon is batting below the Peraza line. I like his definition. Allison, who is just now learning baseball, guys. She's 9 and she has been studying Baseball Savant recently. She says McMahon just based off his.
She already knows more ball than half of you. Congratulations.
There's a lot of Ryan McMahon. Jordan says Ryan McMahon. Chris says Jake Bird. Paul Blackbird. However, Joey says Glaber and G. I don't know how Glaber even got into this conversation, but he's already gone. So not reopening those wounds. But so when I was taking a look at this, I was like, there's 4 guys on the chopping block. So Jazz Chisholm was first, but at least when Jazz gets on base, he can make something happen. He's had some bad defense. He's had some mess ups, but he has a couple stolen bases, and he had a big moment against Miami the other night. Ryan McMahon is in there because he's batting below 100. Like, that's pathetic. And he's not even playing good defense. So you can't even tell me that, he's defense first. Paul Blackburn, he's not the worst, but there's just something about the guy that I just don't trust. And Camilo Doval was number 4 for me because he's been very shaky. But when it comes down to it, I trust that Camilo Doval will find his way back to what he once was in San Francisco. So with that being said, the 2 that are being eliminated for me, Ryan McMahon and Paul Blackburn. So before anyone comes at me, because I know Jake Bird has just had a really bad outing, he hadn't given up a single run until the other night. So I'm willing to give Jake Bird another chance. I don't know. I don't know what it is about Paul Blackburn. Maybe I just don't like him, because now that I'm looking at this, it doesn't look that bad. But it's too late.
Maybe because he's a former Met. I don't know. I guess. I also though I don't know how Paul Blackburn lost his neck there. That's another story for another time. Yeah, listen, I get it. Like, it's 2 games though. Like, I feel kind of bad. Like, I know that McMahon's got the same. Like, that's enough to say, all right, 9 games played, you're 2 for 23. Get the fuck out. All right. My apologies for the language, but he's been that bad. Paul Blackburn, I could have rolled with Blackburn a little bit. I get it. 2.33 whip though. It's not good. It's only 2 games, 3 innings pitched. He is one of the only 2 losing pitchers though out of the Yankees. The Yankees are 7-2. So you know what? See, I'm with you. I don't think Blackburn's winning this thing anyway.
Exactly.
Oh boy. So Paul Blackburn's out.
He never stood a chance, if we're being completely honest here. All right. So before we hop into our last segment, if you have not, please hit the like and subscribe. Doesn't cost any money, so you don't have to pay anything. Just hit subscribe. It's just to give us some support, and then hit that like button, please. And if you haven't, hop over, like I said, to Twitter, hop over to Instagram, follow Empire State of Baseball, just so you can stay up to date with all of our content. Rich has a beautiful schedule that he puts out, and you can keep up to, with all of our spaces, all of our YouTube shows. Most importantly, follow ESB NYY on Twitter. Spaces Monday through Thursday, hosted by Rich, Joey, myself, and Chris. Everyone does their own different version of the space, and it's always a lot of fun. But with that being said, I am going to put Rich on the hot seat and ask him some tough questions. It's a little hard with it being 9.5 games into the season, but I came up with some stuff, and I'm sure Rich will have some great answers for us. So the Bronx is burning. Oh. Let's do it.
What just happened here? What's going on in the clubhouse? The whole place just went on fire.
It's on fire. I blame you.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. Who are you trusting more right now? The bullpen or the bench?
The bullpen, I feel like the bench has been on a milk carton. Outside of Rosario and Escara for an at-bat, like, we're not seeing the bench being fully utilized. And we're early into the season. Like, it's okay to deploy some guys off the bench. It's okay to see what Randall Grichuk can do. He can run into a couple of homers. It's okay to give Goldschmidt an extra game, even if it's not against a lefty. So right now, I'm going to say the bullpen just because I've seen the bullpen being used, and I say half the names at the very minimum I feel good about. The other half remains to be seen, but I'll go bullpen.
Okay, I like it. All right. Overreaction. Give me an overreaction, right? We're 9.5 games into the season. Jazz is in a contract season. Is he playing himself out of a contract right now?
This is probably, and I know it's small sample, but you asked for overreaction. This is probably the worst start to an offensive player's contract season that I've ever seen.
I agree. And with what second basemen are getting paid right now, because that Nico Horner contract, Jazz needs to step it up. Speaking of stepping it up, who needs to step it up immediately right now?
Can I say Jazz? I mean, Jazz. I mean, look, it is a correct answer. Who has to step up right now outside? I mean, look, I've been bullying him all day. Camilo Doval. Again, the Yankees went out last year and traded for David Bednar and Camilo Doval because Devin Williams and Luke Weaver could not do their job. CK, earmuffs, if you're listening. They could not do their job. So they had to replace them. And Doval was supposed to take the 8th inning role. At best, might have even been able to leap Bednar right into the closer spot. And Doval has not, outside of 1 or 2 appearances, he has not looked like the Camilo Doval that the Yankees had acquired. Again, this is a pitcher that was optioned at one point by the Giants. And you know, he's got options still. Maybe that's something the Yankees have to end up utilizing at some point, which kind of stinks. So to me, if he's going to be your pure bridge to David Bednar, he's the most important person right now that needs to step up.
Okay. Through the first 9 games, who is your MVP?
Ben Rice. Yeah. I mean, Schlittler is right there, but if we're just going to go offensive player right now, it's Ben Rice. I mean, he's been awesome. You mentioned leading the team and league in OPS, leader in on-base percentage as well, tied for the most home runs on the team. So, I mean, right now it's Big Ben.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, who, in your opinion, on the team is under the most pressure right now?
Jazz. Yeah, I'm still sticking with Jazz there. Contract season. He's a part of that 6 through 9 mix right now that's just not working. And he's got to be that guy. You know, you can live with your bottom third of the order not giving you as much production, but at least giving you adequate defense. You can't go further than that. And when you're dipping into the 6th spot, especially a player who we ranked as number 2 second baseman in all of baseball. I know you didn't see. I know you didn't. It averaged out that he was number 2 second baseman. You had him very low, and look, so far you look like a genius. He's got to be the one to step up the most.
Yeah. Okay. And if you could trade for one player right now, who would it be, and who are you shipping out to get him?
Do I have to be realistic, or could I go crazy?
No, it's me. You don't have to be realistic.
Look, it's easy to say. You know what? My friends across the river who have an issue with the defense of Bo Bichette at third base, let's just swap third baseman.
Yes.
We'll take the right-handed bat, live with the bad defense, give me the clutch stats that we know Bo Bichette is capable of, and you can take the defense. You can take Ryan McMahon. Have fun. We'll be the first Yankee going to you guys.
I love that. All right, so it wouldn't be the Clubhouse if we didn't talk about Giancarlo Stanton, my favorite player. What are your thoughts on Big G right now? He looks like, in my opinion, like a man on a mission. Like, he wants that World Series ring. He's coming up to next year in his contract year with the Yankees. What are your thoughts so far?
I mean, I said it yesterday at a Bronx Take. ESB NYY is a Giancarlo Stanton Stan account. Yeah, I said it right. We all love him. I don't think there's a member of the ESB Yankee side that doesn't like Giancarlo. CIARRA, of course, is the leader of that pack. Chris, Joey, always giving him love, especially Chris too. Tom, always talking great things about the big man. I'm a big Giancarlo guy. Yes, I are there times where it gets frustrated because when you lose him, it hurts. Because you need that kind of guy to slot right after Aaron Judge. And thus far, look, it's so cool to see him hit. And you look at the batting average, and he's in the 390s to start the season. Awesome. 2+ hits, 6 out of the 8 games that he played. Awesome. Stealing a base? Crazy. What are we talking about here? Giancarlo Stanton is doing things that I would have just thought like Giancarlo would just played himself out of a job and the Yankees would have ate the money at some point this year, because that's what the Yankees have shown a trend to do over the last few seasons. Donaldson, DJ LeMahieu, Aaron Hicks, Marcus Stroman, all cut bait with these players early and still kept paying them even though they were all out of baseball. But Giancarlo Stanton, I don't think he's going to be in that club. I think Stanton's here until the end of his contract. And to be honest with you, I was back and forth on that whole theory too. I think Stanton's going to be here for the rest of the remaining, which is only a year and a half, which is kind of sad.
And I think that year and a half is really what's pushing him right now. I know going into the season they were worried that he couldn't open a bag of chips, but I could care less if he can't open Doritos with the way he's playing, right? He's doing great. Last question for you. Again, it's the Clubhouse, so I got to bring up my girl Taylor Swift. You know, she had some new music come out in October.
Again?
If you had to pick a song for your walk-up song, what would you pick?
Oh, it's the same album. Oh, Wood. Yeah.
Okay. Right? Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah.
I mean, come on. Like we're stepping up with the big club right there, and we're trying to hit a big home run. So I got to step up with that Wood. So I'm coming up with Wood.
That is not what that song means, but I love that answer. But yeah. Hey, works for me.
What else would wait? Hold on a second. What else would it mean?
I'm not going to get into that right now. That is a song.
She's talking about Louisville Sluggers. She can't be talking about anything else.
Obviously. All right. Well, besties, thanks so much for stopping into the Clubhouse and hanging out with us. I lost track of the Yankees game. Hopefully they caught up. If not,
3-1 Athletics still top 5, and currently the Athletics have a runner at first base.
Oh, boo. All right. Well, we still got time for them to win. But like I said, guys, like, subscribe, hop over to Instagram, hop over to Twitter, give us all the follows, give us all the love, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for stopping by.